We're getting started with a bang today here on the Hoffman Show on the Team 980. Always live as well on the free Odyssey app and live on YouTube at the Team 980. And it's our pleasure off the top to welcome in a guy that I got to cover back when I was on the beat. He is now the co-host of the After Hour with Jim Rohn. He is also a coaching specialist up at his alma mater at BC. 12-year NFL veteran Will Blackmon is with us to talk about the Marshon Lattimore trade. Will, what's up, dude? Appreciate your time as always.
Yeah, what's up, my man? Yeah, I saw you in Vegas. Was it? That's the last time we saw you at the Super Bowl?
Yeah, Super Bowl out in Vegas. Hey, this year, who knows? Could I be covering a team that's there as opposed to just laughing about how far away that feels?
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, we're not going to get ahead of ourselves quite yet. But the Marshon Lattimore trade clearly means that they are trying to be serious contenders this year. They're not messing around. When you heard about the trade, both from kind of a big picture, what you thought of Adam Peters being that aggressive, and immediately how he fits in Washington, how do you see this trade?
No, yeah, I mean, my immediate reaction was like, oh wow, like they went and got one of the premier corners in the NFL, and I did not see that happening. I think that's also what caught me off guard. But they went out and got a competitor, man. Like Marshon has been, one of the guys who's been trying to hold it down on his end for a while, and full-time Pro Bowler, Defense Rookie of the Year. Like he's been outstanding. Now the only thing, of course, he's the past couple of years he's dealt with some injuries. Been on IR right now. He's currently dealing with a hamstring right now. So, but I love the fit, because if there is anyone who knows how to coach and handle passionate players like Marshon, it's Dan Quinn. He was, the D coordinator with the whole Legion of Boom guys, and I kind of see him, personality and competitor-wise in that realm. So I think this is a huge win for Washington.
You did a coaching internship of some type with Dallas, right? So you would have been with DQ and Joe Whitt. What is it about the way those guys handle defensive backs and teach defensive backs that's different, and how can that help Marshon maybe acclimate a little bit quicker to what they're going to be asking him to do here?
Yeah, so I have pretty good history with both, actually. So I was with when Joe Whitt was he was with the Packers. We were there at the same time, so I got to know Joe Whitt pretty well. He was actually my punt returner coach when I was on the Packers, and so I got to know Joe really well when he was quality control on defense. And then when I first signed with the Seahawks, that's when Gus went to Jacksonville and Dan Quinn took over. And Dan Quinn, actually, I flew to Seattle early, so he and I used to work out in the mornings at the VMAC over there in Renton. And so I feel like just with DQ alone, like first of all, his style is rare in terms of he knows how to earn the player's trust, and because he's very, very genuine. And I think when you're able to do that as a coach, you're able to win over your player, where they know that whatever you do or say, you're for them. And he has such a really fantastic way of doing that. And the cool thing with Joe Whitt is he's very passionate. He just wants to be able to put his players in the best position possible. He's someone who's worked really hard for a long time, and for him to be a DC was long, long overdue, and it was really cool that he finally got this opportunity. So together, them, creating their defense and their system, how they're doing, they just allow you to play fast. They don't really give you too much. They just allow you to put you in position to really play like hair on fire, fast football. And, they really preach like, hey, man, like go full speed. If you make a mistake, we'll correct it. But they do a good job to make sure that you are confident first, and then, we'll coach you up on your assignments.
Will Blackmon, 12-year NFL veteran, with us here on the Hoffman Show. You just heard his history with Joe Whitt and DQ. And, Will, one of the things that I thought was really interesting talking to Benjamin St. Juste in the spring about, he said that these guys just make the assignment so much clearer. And, hey, if you get beat on this thing, like, don't worry about it. That's not what your responsibility is. You play that, and it allowed him to play fast. That seems so obvious as a coach. Like, yeah, you want to make sure that. Why do you think that there is that disconnect between the way that Joe Whitt and Dan Quinn do it and the way that seemingly a lot of other coaches do it around the league? Otherwise, we'd see this more often.
See that? I didn't even know that interview, and I just hit it right on the head. See, that's why you call me, Craig.
That's why I call you. Sometimes you even pick up, which is so very nice of you.
Oh, you're crazy. It's because here's the thing: is a lot of coaches they're so focused on making sure you have your assignment corrected because if you don't do your assignment on the field, and then when you get into coaches' meetings, and then the head coach or the coordinator is looking at you like, well, why didn't he do his assignment? So they just want to make sure that your assignment is done so that they're covered. You know what I mean? And that's the majority, where very few forget, like, they still need to be a confident player. There may be players out there who play really, really fast, like they play fast on the film, and you rather have somebody go full speed, and then, you want to then coach them up versus, there are plenty of guys who know the entire playbook. They know exactly what to do, but then when the lights are on, they don't play as fast. And so they want to just make sure, like, hey, is he playing fast first? Then let me give him a little bit at a time, and eventually I'll give him more of what to do. But sometimes, too, like, you make plays, making mistakes. You might because you're going so fast. You might disrupt something and be in the right position. We were playing here at Boston College. We were playing Louisville, and one of our outside linebackers, Quentin Hutchinson, he was completely in the wrong spot, and he somehow ended up getting an interception. So were we tripping on the side? I'm like, man, you were in the wrong spot. Nah, I mean, we corrected it later, but he went and made a play, So that's kind of the deal. It's like, man, just go play fast. Like, we don't want you stressed out thinking about all the checks, and next thing you know, you're thinking and you're not in the right place.
Speaking of the checks, I'll hit this question real quick. And you had to do this when you came here. After you left Seattle, you come here. I think it was week 1 or in between week 1 and week 2, and you had to learn a new set of checks, a new set of guys, how they communicated on the fly. How difficult do you anticipate that being for Marshon Lattimore adjusting to the new defense and the new guys around him in D.C.?
Oh, I think he'll be just fine. And unfortunately, he's injured. But fortunately, he's injured. Maybe he'll have time to sit back and learn and watch and study. But he'll just be fine. Like, he's played enough football where, everything is same as. Like, there's only so many coverages. There's only so many different blitzes and things you can design. So it's just a matter of him just understanding the language. And especially that he's, going to be a starter and a premier player for him. They're just going to, Joe's going to do a good job of kind of just crossing over, like, hey, how'd you play like this? This is what we're going to play here. And so that's going to be key. So he'll be just fine and be able to adjust. And that was my case. Like, I played in multiple defenses. So for me, it was like, I'll just learn the language and I'll be fine.
Will Blackmon, 12-year NFL vet, with us here on the Hoffman Show for another minute or two. What does Lattimore's ability in man coverage to be a true CB1 do for this defense and for Joe as a defensive play caller?
Well, yeah, I mean, it definitely is huge, a huge asset if you can play man coverage. But even nowadays, like, defenses like cover 3 isn't like true cover 3 anymore. Like, guys, you have to match it more and play closer entirely because the ball's getting out quicker. The quarterbacks are better in terms of, like, the skill set, especially with, like, the college game coming into the NFL with a lot of RPOs, shotguns, and all that stuff like that in the quick game. So just allow to do that. But also, too, DQ's defense is going to also allow you to have some vision and make plays on the football. I mean, one year you have Trayvon with 11 picks, and next year you have Deron Bland with all those pick sixes. And then obviously we can go back to Sherman Earl and all those guys at Legion of Boom making plays on the football. So he's going to be allowed to make more plays in a defense that's friendly, and that's going to really not put so much on him. He's going to be allowed to do his job and make plays.
Last thing for you, Will, is about Benjamin St. Juste now specifically. Like, for him, he goes from CB1 to CB2 on the depth chart. In the modern NFL, in Dan's defense, how big of a change is that for him to not see those number 1 wide receivers as often, or will he still be seeing plenty of them the way that they're playing?
Look, I mean, it's number 1s, number 2s, like, they're all talented, and if he doesn't see the number 1s anymore, then he doesn't see the number 1s. I mean, shoot, I keep referencing Seattle, but Byron Maxwell didn't see the number 1s all the time, and he went and got $60 million. So, just just make your plays when you make them, and that's it. So it's not going to be a huge deal. It's going to actually help him because then he has somebody on the other side that actually knows what to do and he can learn from.
Will, always appreciate your time, man. I know you got a million things going on, but always really sharp and great to have you back on the show.
Yes, sir.
All right, that's Will Blackmon, everybody, with us here on the Hoffman Show. Again, you can catch him with Jim Rome daily, the After Hours show with Jim Rome. Cool thing that they do after Rome's big national radio show. He is also a specialist up at BC at his alma mater. He's on the coaching staff there. He's got a very cool wine thing. Will's just he's a smart dude who does a lot of cool stuff in football and out, and it's always great to talk to him and have him on the show. When we get back, more of our traditional Wednesday start, but I guess I should also probably tell you guys what we got coming up because we got a loaded show. Right on the zeros at the top. It's called the top of the hour, which I've been told that nobody knows what that means, Anthony. But I don't know how else to say it. When else would you say it? At 5 and 6 o'clock?
I think so.
Yeah, because we just had Will at 4. At 5 o'clock, Patrick Peterson. Yeah, the future Hall of Famer, Patrick Peterson. At 6 o'clock, ESPN Saints reporter Catherine Terrell. So we are loaded up guest-wise. It is a competition Wednesday, so we'll get to that coming up at 5:30. But next, you'll hear from Dan Quinn, and bonus, typically we hear from DQ and Jaden, and you might throughout the show today still hear from the quarterback, but it's all about Marshon Lattimore. So Adam Peters actually spoke today. You'll hear from them next here on the Team 980.